Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Minuteman Ranch. I hope everybody's doing well on this very beautiful, blessed day. No matter where you are blessed to have the day. Well, it's been a minute since I've posted here on the Minuteman Ranch. It's kind of a play on words, but it's been a minute. I took a month sabbatical off of social media. You know, it's always good for the soul to rest the ego, and I'm going to leave it at that. So we're out here in the woods today. You can see behind me, I got the chainsaw and just out here on the property doing some work. I've continued in the month that I've been off, not off, but off of social media. I've extended my driveway. I actually have my truck back here. We're a good ways in the woods now. Really feels like we're getting somewhere. And the weather's been good. We've been blessed. Thanks be to God. We've been blessed that we've got good weather. So I had to fall a lot of trees getting the driveway in here. And I hate to waste material and constantly chucking lumber in the fire. Being a carpenter, I see use in everything. And today I've got an interesting little tool. As you can see in my hands, I'm holding a nice post that I just debarked. So for my chainsaw, I picked up a Log Wizard debarking tool. As you can see here, it took a piece of pine that was basically a tree a couple days ago that I cut down and segmented it into workable, manageable sections that I can pick up and move around. As you can see, I have them on a rack behind me. I've made a little rack that I could get these trees laid out on and run this debarking. It's basically a chainsaw-driven debarking tool that is made by a company. I think this one's made by Log Wizard. You go on Amazon and check out Log Wizard debarking tool. There's a couple different variations. One is really expensive. It kind of comes with everything, I think. And then the other one is kind of inexpensive, or less expensive, I should say. They both run about $100. I think the full kit was like $200, and then the one with just the tool and some blades was like $100. So let me grab the saw and check this thing out. So that's it right there. So that's the Log Wizard. As you can see, it's got a couple of like power planer bits on it, and it basically mounts to a chainsaw bar, and then the chainsaw blade drives it. So what I had to do, they recommend a 16-inch bar, but I've got a 20-inch saw, and the trick of it is that you need 2 inches. So rather than having to buy a 16-inch blade, and I mean a 16-inch bar and an 18-inch blade, I already had a couple of dull 20-inch blades, and I bought an 18-inch bar. And it seems to be working pretty well this morning. I will say this, it has a sprocket on this side where the chain goes on. It comes with the 3/8 pitch sprocket on it. My saw was 325. I had to change that sprocket. Quick tip, if anybody's going to get one of these things, when you go to change the sprocket, take the blades out, and then it says to grab it in a vise. And now the blades are hardened steel. If you grab the blades with the vise, you're going to chip the blades. They're going to break. So I highly recommend, for safety too, always wear gloves, but take the blades out. They're extremely sharp, and they're made with hardened high-speed steel. When you grab them with that vise, you're going to chip them. They're going to chip. I didn't have a vise out here in the woods. I do have a pair of like monkey wrenches, plumber's pliers. So I just clamped it, grabbed it with one of them, and undid. You only have to undo the one side with the sprocket on it. I undid it, came right out, put that 325 drive on there, and I had to drill one extra hole in my bar. You want to keep, they say, I think an inch and a 16th from the gap between the sprocket and the tip of the bar. And then, of course, the blades got, your chainsaw's got some adjustment in there. It worked out really well. One thing I also can say is that if you look here, let's see if I can get it up in there. So if you look here on the return as it comes back through, it just kind of misses the sprocket of the front of the chainsaw. I thought it might have given me, so I'm going to keep an eye on it to see if I get a lot of wear on the teeth of the saw. They seem to be passing by it just fine. It does want to rub a little bit on the side, but again, it's a dull blade, and I'm not going to use it for anything else. So always, when you're working with a chainsaw, safety is extremely important. Gloves, protection, ear pro. I got to get mine. They're over in the truck. Before we start, I'm going to do a quick demonstration and shave one of these logs out really quick. Couple of tips when you're shaving the logs. I found that speed of the saw and pressure and movement is really critical, and it's probably going to change with species of wood. So like a hardwood, like an oak, you could probably work it a little different than some of this pine that I'm working with today. It's very soft. I kind of don't run the full idle on the saw. I just kind of have to find a sweet spot. And I found that if I kind of have a long walk with it and kind of move with the saw a little bit and kind of don't use too much pressure, I don't dig in too much, and I just remove the bark. If I start pumping the throttle a little bit more, I start making little like waves in it and making little indexes in it. And of course, knots are going to be an issue. Whenever you hit a knot with a planer, you got to work around it or work with it. It's woodworking, so it's a craft, but not always a perfected craft. I'm hoping that this will allow me to debark some of the bigger logs. My goal is to eventually put a gas-powered sawmill out here, and like a wood miser or something like that, where I can, if you look behind me, I have a forest of pine trees behind me. We're on 5 acres, and I would say 80% of it is pine trees. So, and I've cut down, I've lost count of how many pine trees I've cut down. I've got logs stacked everywhere. So I'm going to try to either get my lawnmower fixed or get something out here where I can start skidding the logs into an area where I can let them season and get ready for the sawmill. And I will start saving money to purchase a sawmill and get a sawmill out here. And again, the goal is to be self-sufficient. I can't fathom the idea of spending thousands and thousands of dollars at Lowe's or Home Depot for lumber when I'm surrounded by these 100-foot tall pine trees, and most of them are straight as can be, probably straighter than the lumber I get at Home Depot. So with that being said, I'm going to step over to my truck. I'm going to pause the video real quick and get my ear pro, only because you need it. The chainsaws are loud. Again, protection. Always protect yourself. I mean, I should have a pair of chaps on too, but I just haven't got around to buying a pair. So something to think about when you're out here working with trees is safety, safety. So I'm gonna pause the video real quick. Let me put the chainsaw down, and I'm gonna hit pause here real fast, and I'm gonna go get my ear pro, and we'll get started on debarking some logs. Hold on, guys. Welcome back. We're back. Got the ear pro on. The dog is roaming around here somewhere. As you can see behind me, there he is. As you can see behind me, I've got some logs set up, and we're gonna shave one down. So I think you can see in the camera, let me step back here real quick. What I did is I have it sitting on a log, and I took my debarking tool and I made some divots in this log so that the other, kind of like Lincoln logs or a log cabin, so that these logs will sit here and not roll around too much on me. All right. Go ahead. Go to mama. easy peasy log peeling. Strip the bark right off that sucker. Oh, it's a workout too. You gets the blood going. So as you can see, I mean, that's a 12-footer. Strip the bark off in a couple minutes. It's definitely going to want to make me have a second chainsaw on the property so I can leave this thing designated on a saw. And other than that, I have no complaints. If everybody is into, got a lot of trees on their property and into reusing the lumber and making something pretty rustic, I can't, I love the way they look when they're done. You can use it for furniture, post around a paddock. I mean, you can build a log cabin with them, I guess, if you really wanted to. It even cuts, you can even sit there and whittle out the notches, you know, and make it like I did here to hold the trees. You know, you can make interlocking notches. You know, you can get real creative with this thing. Comes with 2 sets of extra blades. Like I said, it's just a matter of working with it and getting it set up on a bar. Obviously, 2 chainsaws would be good to cut to length and to strip the bark because you're not always having to change over. He came back. He heard the saw stop. He came back. Reese, say hello to the camera. So, he's a good dog. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Just wanted to share this with you. Like I said, it was something I picked up on Amazon, and I wanted to see if it was work, and I'm really happy with it. So I figured I'd share it with you all and maybe inspire somebody else to use what's on their property, you know, instead of running to the big box stores and supporting the big box stores. I think that, you know, some of us who have the means and the know-how or the desire to be more self-sufficient can make good use out of something like this. So, guys, for the win, the Log Wizard. Thanks for watching. Be safe, be free, keep your focus, and as always, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, guys.